On the second Sunday in September, there is a general election in Sweden. The voter turnout, over 80%, is always among the highest in the world. But big differences are revealed in the voter turnout figures. The percentage of foreign citizens and foreign-born residents who vote is far less than those born in Sweden.
This is the first time that I'm voting in Sweden, so obviously it's important for me because I'm going to choose a party, which I didn't do that before. So listening to the news and knowing about them is important.
Malmö in southern Sweden is the country's third largest city. Almost 1/3 of Malmö's 300,000 inhabitants are foreign-born. With 170 nationalities in the city, multiculturalism is an important part of Malmö's identity. But how can you spread relevant election news about the political parties in so many languages?
This is something that we have discussed a lot, and I think that we have been stuck in thinking of how we will distribute our paper to other groups. And I think now we are more giving that thought up because people are reading news on the internet. It's essential for us to reach these new groups in Malmö. It's essential.
Sydsvenskan is the biggest daily newspaper in southern Sweden. Like many other newspapers, it has faced the challenge of finding its identity and readers on the web after many successful years in print media. For this election, Sydsvenskan decided to translate its most important election news into 9 different languages and publish the stories daily on its website.
Śledząc na bieżąco wiadomości, bierzemy udział w życiu społecznym. Jest to szczególnie ważne przed wyborami.
نفهمیدن زبان یک جامعه قرار گرفتن در جریان خبرهای اون جامعه رو سخت و سخت‌تر می‌کنه.
It was actually our marketing agency who came up with the idea, who had read an article in Sydsvenskan talking about democracy ambassadors working within Malmö stad. And they told us that you should hire people that translate your election news into different kinds of languages so we could spread the word. I thought it was wonderful because that was a very simple solution, because we have always tried to write about the inhabitants in Malmö instead of writing for them. And finally we can just take the content that we have and translate it to their languages, so it will be all for them.
In the weeks before the election, 14 translators have translated election campaign news every day. One of those who applied for the job was Xian from Taiwan.
We have quite many readers from China and Taiwan and Hong Kong and other these Chinese-speaking countries, and even the Swedish embassy in Beijing even write about us and say that the local newspaper in southern Sweden is becoming international before the election. So that's really cool.
Naime also applied to work on the United Translators project. She comes from Iran and worked there as a journalist and activist before she was imprisoned by the regime and was finally able to escape to Sweden.
During these 2 years, almost 2 years that I have been in Sweden, I saw a lot of immigrants who cannot integrate themselves to the new society, and they don't know anything about the political system in Sweden. They just live here, they have lots of problems, but they can't do anything because they don't know what to do. Language is very huge limitation for many people, and it takes time for them to learn language. So I think this project may help them to enter the new society and to play their role in this political system.
Sydsvenskan's United Translators project has been a hot topic for other media during the election campaign in Sweden. TV and radio have drawn attention to the project, but there has also been criticism of the quality of certain translations. But the United Translators have gained approval among their new readers.
This Sydsvenskan project helps me to follow the political situation on my language and the political situation here in Sweden, which I'm a citizen of. So I can say that's very good, very interesting to follow, to read online on the newspaper, and to see what's happening now in the country.
It makes me feel like I'm more part of the society. It's like people expect me to know about these news and vote. So it's a little bit more helpful that read it in Swedish.
Since I study political science, pretty much everything is important to me. But I'm a big fan of immigration law and immigration politics, so I like the stance that some parties are taking for some immigrational questions and standpoints. So that's what's important to me.
I'm very proud of that we are doing this, and I think it's extremely important for us in a region like this that we show people that we care about different nationalities, different backgrounds.
The mosque at the Islamic Centre in Malmö was the first to be built in Northern Europe 30 years ago. It receives between 50 and 60,000 visitors every year. Now all is calm, but just a few hours ago 2,000 people were here to attend the last Friday prayers before the election.
It's a place for gathering for multinationalities, and it's a place for peace for many people. They come here to pray. Some people come here to study. Some people come here to only meet some of their friends from the same culture or background, which they have none of. So it defines many kind of things that every person has a different opinion about, and many people luckily keep it a very close place in their heart for.
Nuran is very positive about the United Translators project. Many of Malmö's immigrants have found it difficult to get involved in the city's issues because of the language barrier.
I think it's a good thing that this option is available, because then people can study in their own home language to be sure for what they're actually putting their vote on. Because in this year, I don't think there have been so many people that has been so involved in the politics in Sweden as it is now.
When the election in Sweden is over, the United Translators project will be over too, at least for this time. Sydsvenskan has already started to think about possible new projects.
I really do hope that we can use the experience from this project and do something else in the future, of course. Maybe not translate all the news into 9 different languages, but that we can take a few of them and continue in some way and have new projects with the same aim like this one, to reach more people.
This is a cause that everyone is really, really engaged in, and if you have that passion and commitment, it's possible to do anything. So even though the time is short and the money, you don't have a lot of money. So I will take with me the engagement and the passion.